Hey guys, welcome once again to one of these how to do videos, but this time is not about anything else except how to actually run investiture in the lockdown situation. So if you remember in the last video, we had Rumbi who gave us three different options how to run a club during the lockdown, and she actually gave us amazing advice on what is good and what is not so good, so you can actually evaluate and find and come to conclusion what is the best for you. But today we want to talk about investiture, and we all know how important is this service for our clubs. And I have somebody amazing here with us today, and that's Cedric Lux, who is actually our Pathfinder director at Newbold College. Cedric, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
Very
good. Thank you.
Let me just tell you, Cedric had a very small schedule, and I was the first person who knocked on his door after he finished his work, because I wanted to hear the story of Newbold College and what did you do, guys. Cedric, just if it's possible, tell us a few words about yourself, how long you're running the club, and how big is your club, and then we can share your PowerPoint and we can go further together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So my name is Cedric Lux, and I've been involved with the Pathfinders for the past 6-7 years in different levels. I started with being a treasurer for the Adventurers Club in Newbold, and I guess from treasury I became director for the Adventurers, and now the past 2 years I've been the director for both Pathfinder and Adventurers.
It's quite funny too that you started as a treasurer and then went up, but that's great stuff. So I guess this is the trick, guys. If you want to be club directors, you need to be treasurers first. I'm just joking. Sorry about it. So Cedric, how big is your club?
We have about 130 kids, 70 Pathfinders and 60 Adventurers, and we need to have about 30 minimum counselors in order to be able to run properly. Wow. So it's a big group.
For everybody who doesn't know where Newbold Club is, it is actually situated on Newbold College. It is our university here in Transylvanian Division, where I studied and learned many things. So it is only about 40 miles from London, and going west, just in case if you are watching and you're not sure where that is. All right, Cedric, let's share a PowerPoint, and I need to be honest. Cedric ordered patches and badges from British Union shop, and so as I was doing the order, I realized something huge is happening, because Cedric bought half a shop. And so Cedric actually said, "Oh, can I come and pick it up?" And so he came to pick it up. And when he came, then he explained to me that he has this amazing master plan. So Cedric, when you're ready, you're excellent. Yep. Then he told me he's going to have investiture, and this is probably the first investiture in the lockdown COVID-19 situation. So Cedric, press the full screen and then take us forward.
Yep. Okay. So, yes. So we done an investiture under the COVID-19 restriction. It came with a lot of challenges, but it also get us to be very creative. Yes. And we were able to do something nice at the end, thanks to God. So what I'm going to talk to you about is a bit of our planning we had, and how we set up ourselves on the big day.
Cedric, let me ask you, on which day did investiture take place? Which day was that? Was it Sabbath, or was it Sunday, or?
It was the 25th of July, Sabbath.
Sabbath. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay.
So what we did is we had the morning service. So we led the church service, and in the afternoon we had our investiture.
Let me just ask you, when it comes to morning service, did that take place through Zoom, or how do you have it?
In Newbold Church, we live stream.
You live stream, so everybody stayed at their homes. Do you have a few photos of that? You do?
Yes, yeah. Okay, we're going to see a couple of them, and I will explain how it's done and how actually God works, because everything we're going to show you, it was thanks to God.
Excellent.
Newbold Church started to have to live stream early July, when some of the restriction of the COVID-19 got relaxed, and so they were able to have a small group in a platform and be able to worship this way. So we took this opportunity to have the directors in, so myself, Vitor, and Daniel, and but you'll see some pictures somewhere. Also, back in March, we were due to lead the service as our every year, what we call it, our church day, where adventurers and pathfinders, they do everything from A to Z.
Yes.
And so we were preparing everything. The songs, the sermonettes from our adventurers and pathfinders. So we saw that we're going to have a lockdown. So at the last minute, we decided, okay, let's record everything we do.
Okay.
The sermonettes, the songs, and all that, with all the pathfinders and adventurers we can have.
Yes.
On the day. So it was a last minute decision. We gathered as many people we can, and we recorded everything. So that with the idea of having the church day,
yes,
pre-recorded and using this on that. So we had this material that we could use. And so it turns out with the program for all the services, the worships and all that changed completely because of the lockdown. So we didn't use the church day, but we decided why not, we're going to use it for the investiture. So yeah, so that works very, very well. So I put there's in here, you'd see a link of the actual worship that we had when you want to do. So this is some picture where the groups we sung. So we had 3 songs we recorded. Adventurers and Pathfinders, and and Adventurers with Jesus Shine.
And it was all pre-recorded before the lockdown. Okay.
Yeah, before the lockdown. That's why you get everybody all together.
So close together. Yes. Because this is like totally unnatural right now.
Yes, yeah. So those were the ones who done the sermonette. So we put a little area in the church and we recorded them, and you see those. And
all of this was done through a live stream. People stayed at home and and they enjoyed the beautiful Pathfinder service, adventure service.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. The only people were in the church were the leaders and the people recording and for that. So in the afternoon, we for the planning. So that was very tricky because we started planning in June. And because the situation is very fluid, we had a lot of things happening every day. You had news of new changes and all that. So we decided to plan with the worst to the best situation. So the worst will be a complete lockdown. So what can we do with a complete lockdown? So the idea is to do something online because we've been doing Zoom and all that, so the kids are used to that. And we either send by post the certificates and the badges, or we also maybe some of the counselors on that, we do a door-to-door delivery.
Okay, so that was the plan for the worst.
For the worst, yes.
Everybody is locked in their houses, and your plan was, well, the least we can do is send the certificates and their patches, badges, or even do the delivery, which would give you a taste of what is to be Amazon driver. So that was the worst case. All right, what was the second plan?
So the second plan and the third plan was very similar. So at that time, we started to hear the news having small groups being able to gather together. In a house, you can have 30 people from the 2 different families, etc. So we said, okay, let's use the church ground, possibly, and have some, we call it at the time bubbles, so groups delimited with boundaries.
Yeah.
And so we had one scenario. One was small groups, so 6 people per group, and all maybe a 30 people group. Okay, on that. So we had plans for that, drawings, and organize ourselves for this. And the last plan, which was really out of the blue, and really because when we were planning for plan 1, 2, 3, we were laughing and all different things, and suddenly my deputy director Vitor, out of the blue, laughs and say, "Why don't we do a drive-through?" you know,
So he decided to do McDonald's version of the investiture.
Yeah. So
you come with your car, you pick up your burger. In this case, is the patch and certificate, and then you drive through.
Yeah, exactly. So we started actually laughing about it. Like, no way, you know, and having a laugh. And then we give some biscuits at the same time.
Yes.
But then suddenly, more and more we were talking about it. Silence come into our group and say, wait, that could be a very good idea.
Yeah.
And so we started to plan this as well, more seriously. And so it turns out with the dates of our investiture, the situation we were with COVID, the safest thing to do was the actual drive-through.
Okay.
On that.
Are you able to show us some photos, Cedric?
Yes.
I can't wait to see it.
So,
all right. What is it?
So that was our certificate we did, and some of the badges we ordered, just to give you an idea on what we gave to the children.
And so who are these handsome people on this photo?
Yeah, so that's that was during the morning service. You know, you have on the right side, the Pathfinder dressed is Vitor.
Yes.
And on the left side, you have the adventurers, which is Daniel. So they are my deputy directors. So that was the where we were standing, and with the decoration at the back for the morning service.
Okay.
That we did on that.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Then we set up the station, so the drive-through station, with some pioneering wood we had.
I would like to say that I did say I love your pioneering drive-through Newbold Club station. I think this is the best drive-through that I have ever seen. McDonald's need to take some tips on this. All right. So why do you have a tarpaulin there?
Yeah, that because the weather was not good. We had a very a lot of rain on the day.
All right.
Yeah,
despite this being England in the summer, just for those who are not in England or UK or Ireland, you need to know, guys, we have rain at any moment. At the moment, it looks to be right now outside. So
it's cloudy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and you see, we also put so we wanted to create an atmosphere for them to go through, like very similar. You know, when you drive through a zoo.
Yeah.
You know, you go with your car slowly, and you see the animals, and you see how they interact and that. So we wanted to do a bit similar like this. So we had some tents. So that was set up on Friday afternoon.
Very good.
On that, then what we decided is to print about 80 pictures, and we laminated them in A3, so it's big enough for them to be seen, and we put them all the way through the car park, where the cars will drive very slowly and look at all the pictures. And we had our counselors on the side clapping and congratulating them for their achievements.
Hello, how are you? Are you okay? Are we okay?
Yeah, so that was one of them, and as well we used our drum corps and to play from the beginning to the end, so non-stop. So they play actually for 2 hours non-stop.
Wow!
Because we had about 60-70 cars who drive through.
60-70 cars.
Yes, and they for the time of 1 hour and a half. So it went very well. We had no queues.
Outside. So for those who do not know, guys, when you see this photo, the moment on the screen, just behind Vito and Cedric is actually a parallel main road. And usually we block that road, even when I was there on the Sabbath, because everybody wants to get into car parks, so it's not easy. But you obviously managed to succeed. So Cedric, they were entering from that street, and where they were leaving. Tell us a little bit about where they were leaving.
Yeah, so they were leaving from the same way they come in, but because the way our car park from Newbold Church is, you are able to do a full circle. Because there is a disabled car park.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Outside.
Yes, I remember.
Yes.
You come down and go up, is that right?
Yeah, and go up again, yes.
Very good, Cedric. So that is the idea for everybody. Another option, if I remember, Cedric, you were talking to me, opening the gate all the way down to the farm and letting people just go through the farm. There used to be a farm in Newbold College. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, that was an option as well, but it was not possible, and it would have been very difficult to manage as well.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So at least there was a turning around or potentially going straight through the Newbold and then get out.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So they played for 2 hours non-stop, and they were amazing.
Very good.
Yeah.
They must be very strong young people.
Yes. Yeah. Then. So you can see some examples. So where you see the tents just before, we put a live fire that were 2 of our Pathfinders where their task was to keep it on going for all the adventurers and Pathfinders to drive through and see that. So it was like as I say, an ambience of a camp experience. And so you see when the cars are arriving, in here we see who it is, and we give them the certificates and congratulate them on that.
Yeah, Cedric, on that photo there where they're standing next to a car, on the left hand side, for everybody who doesn't know,
yes.
that is Newbold's pastor,
yes.
And tell us a little bit about him.
Yes, so Pastor Marcel. He before arriving to Newbold, he was a pastor in Scotland, and so his Pathfinder uniform is a kilt. So that's why it was this way. But I mean, he has been amazing.
That is beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you, I'm as a British Union Conference Pathfinder director, I'm really proud of you guys, and I hope and I wish that this video actually inspires many more churches to be creative. Drive-through is probably just one of these options, and there's probably about 15 more which we did not even think about at the moment. But what Cedric did is very wise, and that is always be ready to for the worst scenario. You never know will actually this take place the way you plan it. So make sure you have that last option Cedric mentioned, which was the first option. If it doesn't happen, just mail it and or deliver it, and do exactly like Amazon drivers. Put the certificate on a step in front of the house, step back, and then just wish them and congratulate them and encourage them to continue in this beautiful way, and that is Pathfinder and Adventurer. Cedric, big thank you for this. For everybody who is watching this, I just want to ask you, Cedric, if that's okay, just if you're able to stop your presentation.
Yes.
For everybody who is watching this, I'm hoping that, guys, that this inspires you to think through this, because many churches are now struggling what to do. We just had investiture in Isle of Man, which is another island, and they sent us the photos, and they had a proper investiture with just some regulations. So of course I was like, wow, what's happening there? But of course Isle of Man lifted restrictions, and they were able to do it, and that's beautiful to see. And I might be able to share some of the photos, but reality is, at the moment in this situation, just be creative and share some of the comments with us. What Cedric could have done better, if you think something could be done better, if you think that some things you would do totally different, or you have some different ideas, please do share it in comments, because this is the way to encourage each other.
Yeah, and I mean the drive-through station, for example, we only had a week to prepare when we took the decision. So it's pioneering, but very basic. And if you are planning and well in advance, you can make it so much nicer as well, and with a lot more decoration and yeah. So there's a lot to do. You can do.
Cedric, please say thank you to your team, and big thank you to you, Cedric. We hope and pray that you'll continue your leadership for many years to come at Newbold College. And for everybody else who watched, thank you so much for the time, and stay safe. God bless.
God bless.